thing I remember most about Kayla is just the bigger the game, the bigger the moment, the better she performed. She was very tenacious on the basketball court.
Kayla Clark is a 2004 graduate of Seckman High School and a 4-year varsity starter on the basketball team.
She just had that refuse to lose attitude. She was always very calm, cool, no matter the moment. She never let anything get to her. She was just that one type of person you want the ball in her hands at the end of the game because you knew she'd do something special.
Kayla enjoyed a breakout senior year where she earned all-conference and all-state honors, and she helped guide her team past a tough U-City team before meeting Koryezu in districts.
You know, probably my one single greatest memory of any of her accomplishments on the basketball floor was her senior year in districts. We were playing Koryezu. We weren't having a very good season. They were seeded number 1. They were ranked 5th or 6th in the state, had several Division I players. And that moment, Kayla just took the game over for us, ended up beating them by 3 points. She was by far the best player on the floor that night. That one game just described her whole career.
Although Kayla may be well remembered for her basketball moments, she was equally known for her skills on the soccer field. In her career at Seckman, she scored more than 50 goals and earned all-conference honors in soccer as well as basketball.
You know, on the basketball floor, and I'm sure she used her same skills on the soccer field, just the way she would never quit. I mean, she was always quicker than everyone else. It seemed like she had another speed that other athletes couldn't get to that speed, and she used that on the basketball floor, on the soccer field. She was always very heads-up player, always thinking 2 or 3 plays in advance, and I think that helped her tremendously.
Kayla went on to Webster University, where she lettered in both soccer and basketball.
I mean, I remember watching her in 8th grade play basketball, and I knew right then she was going to be a great high school player. Then when we got her on the high school team, watching her in basketball and soccer, I could tell she would be a type of player that would go on and play in college, which she ended up playing basketball and soccer in college. So I could tell, you know, after 1 or 2 years of watching her in high school that she would definitely be a college player and have great success at the college level.
Proud of her, and I'm so happy she's being inducted. Very deserving. Our first all-state athlete at Seckman, and you know, Division I player. Don't see any reason why she shouldn't be there, and I'm happy for her. And just like to say, Kristen, congratulations.
Kristen Darnell is a 1999 graduate of Seckman High School. Kristen began her high school career at Fox before transferring to Seckman when the school opened.
Kristen was just a great leader. When I made the move to come down here to coach when we left Fox and Kristen came down here, she was probably the best catcher in the district. And if you got a great catcher in softball, you can be pretty confident that you're going to have a pretty good team.
In her senior season, Kristen carried her Seckman team to a 23-5 record. That year, she earned first-team All-State honors, and she still holds the record for caught stealing percentage at Seckman.
As a player, she was just a great signal caller. She handled pitchers really well. She had a great release, really quick to second base. Her biggest asset was she didn't listen to me, on my direction, of course. One game early in the season, I guess it was probably about 3 or 4 games in, I decided I was going to call 2 or 3 pitches, and every time I called a pitch, somebody jacked one. I can't remember who was on the mound that day, but went out and talked to him and said, okay, I'm not talking to either one of you about any mistakes you made. I made the mistakes. Kristen, if I ever call another pitch, ignore me. And she was a very good leader and respect that. She always did what her coach said. She ignored me the rest of the season, which was the best thing for her.
Kristen went on to star for Eastern Illinois University. She started all but 2 games in her career at Eastern Illinois, and she was a 3-time National Fast Pitch Coaches Association All-American Scholar Athlete.
I knew she would be a good college player as well, and she had everything she needed to go to that level. And most kids that go to that level have some athletic ability, but she also had, again, she had that positive outlook. She had the mental attributes it took to succeed at another level. She just likes to compete. She don't like to lose. There's 2 kinds of athletes, ones that like to win and ones that hate to lose, and I'll take the ones that hate to lose every time.
Dawn played for a very good volleyball club, Kirkwood Volleyball Club. early on, and she was identified as a elite athlete in middle school. I knew that she was an elite athlete first time I saw her play.
Dawn Porter is a 2000 graduate of Seckman High School. She was a 4-year starter for the Seckman volleyball program and a fierce competitor.
What I remember most about Dawn was that she was powerful at the net. You know, it didn't matter if she had a good set or a bad set. If she got the ball, we were scoring a point. I mean, she was a prolific hitter. It didn't matter who our opponent was, if they were good, if they were bad. I mean, when she stepped on the court, you know, she played to win.
Dawn earned All-State honors in 1998, and she finished her career with All-Conference, All-District, and All-Metro honors in her last 3 varsity seasons.
You know, she was a very athletic kid, very tall. That always helps, but one of the things that gave her a little bit of an edge was she was left-handed, and that, you know, allowed her to hit around the block and hit down the line, which is a hard shot for the other team to pick up.
Dawn helped build the Jaguars program by posting record numbers in most offensive categories, while being the ideal teammate.
You know, she was a lot better athlete than the other girls on our team, but I never heard or saw her get down on her teammates one time. You know, she was always a team player, and you know, the girls looked to her to carry the team.
Dawn was highly recruited, and she signed with Fairfield University in Connecticut before transferring to Jefferson College later in her career.
You know, she received a Division I scholarship at Fairfield, Connecticut, which did not surprise me at all. And when she went out there, she met with a pretty significant shoulder injury, and that kind of plagued her through college. And so because of that, you know, we'll really never know how good she could have been.
That by far is the hardest worker, that is relentless, not in the pursuit to be the best wrestler. He is relentless to get the most out of his God-given ability, and that was really what Jimmy did. And it wasn't only on the wrestling mat. It was in every honors course he took. He was determined to squeeze everything out of his God-given ability.
Jimmy Pepper is a 2006 graduate of Seckman High School. Jimmy was a 4-year starter for the Jaguars and a 3-time state medalist.
You know, somebody asked me, when did you know he was an elite athlete? And at a very young age, I'd say 5th, 6th grade, I knew Jimmy was not an elite athlete, but he had an elite work ethic to go along with slightly above average skills. A very strong will. Strong heart, strong will.
In Jimmy's junior year, he finished 4th in state with a record of 43-6. As a senior, Jimmy carried a perfect record into his final match of his high school career.
It was my last match as the head wrestling coach at Seckman, so it's still like it's yesterday. You know, they both came in 49-0. And if you wrestle that match 100 times, it's going 50-50. That day, just like we thought, with 20 seconds to go, Jimmy kind of got out of position, and Dylan was good enough to come in, take it, and he beat him 2-1. And after that match, of course, Jimmy's upset. But by the time I think we left the Hearn Center, everything that he had trained for made him feel much better. And saying that his thinking was, I did everything I could have. It came down to 3 seconds on the edge of the mat, and he beat me. And it was almost, he was not okay with losing, but he knew. He had no regrets.
Jimmy Pepper finished his senior year with a record of 49-1. He accumulated over 160 wins while at Seckman and only 24 losses. After graduation, Jimmy accepted a D1 scholarship to American University in Washington, D.C.
He made the program better because in the sport of wrestling, you get these kids that come into the room and they've never really wrestled or they've never been part of a wrestling team. And when your best wrestler is also your hardest worker by far, those young kids say, oh, well, that's how we do things here. We work that hard. No matter how good we are, we work that hard. Jimmy helped transform the Seckman wrestling team into a bunch of guys that were decent wrestlers, but were just tough.